from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Some people can't. Some people can't.
Thank you. Let me call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, today being Tuesday, December 27th, 2024. We're going to do things a little bit differently this morning. Before we even get to roll call, we're going to swear in our new supervisor. I have the honor of doing that, and so I'm going to come down there. We're going to get that done, and then we're going to take a short recess, just a couple of minutes, to allow Chris to escort his family and friends and supporters, whoever's here that wants to leave, give them time to do that. I can't believe that they don't want to stay for our meeting, but some of them don't want to do that. Okay, I'm coming right down. So Chris, join me when I get down there. Thank you. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to swear you in. I really appreciate it.
Oh, David, it's my pleasure, believe me.
Awesome. So I'm going to read this, and at the end of it, you say that you swear or affirm, and you'll be a supervisor.
How about that?
Okay. So please raise your right hand. I, Chris Parlier, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
We'll take care of the paperwork up there.
Thank you so much. It just means so much that everyone's here for me, and I have a few words. I want to recognize some people first. First off, my family, my wonderful wife, Debbie. We just went 38 years in September. My son, Ryan, his wife, Ashley, their boys, Caden and Reagan. My daughter, Rachel, her husband, Brennan, and their little baby, Brindley, right there. And I'd like to recognize the following elected officials, too. Of course, my colleagues, for all their support. Thank you so much. Senator Shannon Grove, Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmeet Bains, Liz Newman with Congressman Vince Fong's office, Raji Barr with CSU Board of Trustees, Mayor Go, City of Bakersfield, thank you so much for being here, Mayor. Council members for the City of Bakersfield, Bob Smith, Manpreet Kaur, Andre Gonzalez, Larry Coman, former council members, Russell Johnson, Mark Savaggio, and I don't know if Willie Rivera is here, and Jackie Sullivan right here. Thank you so much, Jackie. I don't know if Dave made it or not, but Dave Knorr with the City of Taft, Taft Mayor Pro Tem, Orshel Cryer, Tehachapi Mayor Michael Davies, thank you so much for coming, Michael. Joel McKay, Chairman of the Roseman Municipal Advisory Committee, or Council. Christian Clegg, City Manager of the City of Bakersfield, thank you. Thank you so much, Christian. I'd also like to thank those in attendance from District 2 communities, businesses, and associations that have supported me. This is your win too. Thank you so much. Now, I never thought that I'd be blessed to be able to serve the public again. But the constituents of District 2 have humbled me with that honor, and I deeply thank them for that trust. No matter what part of the district you live in, I work for you, and I will do my best to facilitate those needs that touch you. Through dedication and the capable hands of my staff, we look forward to serving you. As a city councilman for the City of Bakersfield, I was known as a worker bee for my area, and I intend to be a worker bee for this district too. While running for office, I heard these consistent themes: the need for increased public safety, road improvements, along with protecting our historic industries of oil and farming. I'll stand along your side to fight against overregulation, fight for our businesses, and to keep criminals off the streets. Well, the District 2 Supervisor is now back in business, and I look forward to assisting you, our communities, and this great county for a better tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
You guys take all the time you need to take some pictures right down here if you need to. You bet. We'll take a short recess and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll reconvene the meeting and go to our first item, which is roll call.
Supervisor Peters,
Here.
Supervisor Parlier,
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you. The next item is the salute to the flag. It is going to be led this morning by Ms. Tina Miller, who served in the U.S. Navy from 1979 to 1992. Her service took her all over the world to places like Washington, D.C., Germany, England, Italy, Spain, and many more. She was stationed on 2 submarine tenders, the USS Dixon and the USS L.Y. Spear. While in D.C., she served in the National Construction Battalion headquarters for the Seabees. Her faithful service earned her Good Conduct Awards, letters of appreciation, letters of recognition for physical fitness, certifications in various management and training topics as well. She was even licensed to operate a 1-ton truck, a 20-passenger bus, and a 20,000-pound forklift. Tina's repertoire of experience ranges from producing and co-hosting the Bakersfield Californian while working for the White House under 2 administrations to judging beauty pageants. You do everything. These days, Tina keeps herself busy as a committee member for the Bakersfield Veterans Day Parade, international host for the National Prayer Breakfast, and is an ambassador for the Pacific Justice Institute. So thank you for leading us in the flag salute today. Please remain standing at the conclusion of that for a moment of prayer, silence, meditation, whichever you prefer. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the salute to the flag of the United States of America and to the principles for which it stands. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Miller, very much. Thank you. Next is the pet of the week. So we'll ask Nick Cullen, our Director of Animal Services, to come out. He has a very cute one today. As our county council is very fond of dogs. Have you seen this one? Yeah. This one talks to you a little bit, doesn't it? So tell us about this one.
Complains a little bit. Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. I have brought with me Davis. Davis is about a 6-month-old German Shepherd dog. He's available for adoption right now at the Kern County Animal Shelter. He's been with us for almost 2 months now, and he's a sweet boy, and he's available right now.
Now, you told me something sort of backstage, what we'll call it over here, about this dog. Not too long ago, he was scheduled for something.
Yeah, so Davis here was scheduled for euthanasia actually just yesterday, and a lot of folks are asking why, and it's space. The shelters are crowded with dogs just like Davis, and we pulled Davis off the euthanasia list to try to find him a home, and it's just indicative of the animal crisis that we're in right now in the animal shelters locally. But Davis is available for adoption.
He's a good dog. Anyway, let's find Davis a forever home. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Okay, next is a report on actions taken in closed session from yesterday, Monday, December 16th at 9 a.m.
Good morning, board members. Yesterday you did meet in closed session, and there is no reportable action.
Ready. Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. You're entitled to ask a question or make a comment about those, and this is the time to do that. Let me tell you what is on the consent agenda. It starts on page 2, consisting of items 5 and 6. On to page 3, it's all the items 8 through 15. On page 4, it's items 16 through 20. On to page 5, it's items 22 through 27. And that is what is on the consent agenda this morning. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment or ask a question about any of the items I just read off? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board for a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion on consent.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, that takes us back to the top of page 2, sort of not quite the top, the third item, Public presentations, which is the portion of the meeting that is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter that's not on the agenda but is under the jurisdiction of the board. Supervisor Parlier, this is not the swearing, this is the swearing at. So let it begin. Morning, Mr. Robles.
Good morning, board. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, and I am a veteran. And we have been coming to you for years now, literally, with our complaints about how the voting system in this county has been mismanaged. Your answer was to spend $2 million on a camera security system that doesn't really work. It provides no security, and it really doesn't even provide any visibility. You hired more staff, but all they have served to do is to insulate the ROV from any kind of accountability. Moreover, you reduced the number of voting centers so that it caused more people to be concentrated into fewer places. And you compounded this obstruction to the voters by misdirecting many of them clear across the county from their nearest voting center to literally in the other side of the valley, and some clean from Taft all the way up to Tehachapi. You further blockaded traffic here in this building and the post office, causing disruption. You put out barricades for over a month, and you made the rush crowd vie with the disabled and aged for an opportunity to come in and present their ballots. They're leaving them, the only option is vote by mail. And it was kind of cute. You punched holes in the envelopes so that a discerning handler could actually ascertain the political bent of the voter that presented that ballot. You caused hardship to the aged and the disabled.
Mr. Robles,
and
can I ask you to bring your comments to a close? We're over our 2 minutes.
well, okay, let's just put it this way.
Okay.
You have turned the voter suppression system into an art form.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Can I ask a question about the barricades that he mentioned? I think, are you referring to along the street out here?
Also, I understand the post office had either barricades or control of the traffic through the ballot drop boxes out there. And
The post
don't
office?
know, but I've heard rumors that there were other places where traffic was impeded.
Okay, well, I don't want to address any rumors. I want to address what happened out here. My understanding is that was, for lack of a term, barricaded. There were cones out there so that people could drive up and drop off their ballot. Am I wrong about that? Why were there cones out there?
Chairman Couch, Ms. Espinoza would be the best person to answer that, and she is making her way to the
All right.
podium.
Well, I'm curious about that myself. We'll find out.
And while you're at it, ask her why they didn't just open up a bunch of these empty parking lots.
Thank you, Mr.
For
Robles.
drive-through availability.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Can you tell us about that one, Ms. Espinoza?
Sure. Amy Espinoza, Kern County Auditor, Controller, County Clerk. The cones on the side of the building here, it was actually on the Saturday before the 2 Saturdays before the election and Election Day. It's a way for our office to provide a more convenient way for voters who are disabled or who don't want to get out of their car to drop off their vote by mail envelope.
Someone was stationed out there to take their ballot and put it in the box?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
That-
so
that's
again,
what I thought.
we only offer it here because of staffing and then also control over the ballots. We don't want to open that up just anywhere because here, once those ballot boxes get filled up, 2 people wheel them in, we put them in the vote by mail room where they're under lock and key, and then we can take another empty one out.
And so when someone drives up and hands the ballot to someone, they can watch that person put it in the ballot box?
Correct.
Right there. Okay. That's what I thought.
And some folks, they want to put it in themselves, so my staff go and they lift that ballot box for them so they can drop it in
I see.
themselves.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you. Who'll be next?
Good morning, Chairman Couch. Good morning to the supervisors. Good morning, Mr. Parlier. Congratulations. God bless America. I am Charles Shin. I am a retired Marine and a concerned citizen. Some improvements I would like to go over for the new year. Folks who apply, fill out the application to purchase voter data should receive a complete registration file, but we have noticed for the last 5 months that we are not. We request a meeting with the ROV, one or more supervisors, and possibly legal counsel if they want to come, to go over the legal requirements to provide records for review. That comes out of the California election regulation, access to voter registration information, permissible uses, 19003, record review for any person to conduct an audit of voter registration lists for election, scholarly, journalistic, political, governmental purposes. Record review includes, but is not limited to, detecting voter registration fraud, evaluating voter registration information accuracy, and evaluating compliance with applicable federal and California laws. Change of address confirmation notices. We completed in the summer 322 folks who have moved out of the state of California, yet they're still registered to vote in Kern County. From the Secretary of State's website, right here. Voter indicated moved out of state through the NCOA, National Change of Address. The county shall update the status of the voter registration record to canceled. And last but not least, another reminder, December 3rd from the Secretary of State, Memorandum 24-230, Election Administration and Voting Survey, the EVAS report. EVAS report on the 13th of January needs to be submitted to the Secretary of State, and on the 3rd of February, the statewide data from all 58 counties will be submitted to the EAC, which means that's the published date. We're looking forward to a complete EVAS report, not one as 57 deficiencies as the last 2 years example gained us a lawsuit by Judicial Watch. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Morning.
Hello, Paul Infesti. I am in District 3, and I want to congratulate Chris Pollier. For a very brief period of time, you were actually my council representative. I don't know if you remember, I used to come up and speak at those meetings as well. I want to thank Amy Espinoza and her staff for the election this year. I know there are some road bumps, like I did complain once about, getting the sample ballot after, the sample ballot after I had the ballot, but those are issues that have seemed to always exist. But I think overall, with all of the stress and the huge duties that that department has, I think it's a miracle they actually get everything done and get it done by the deadline. Again, Greenfield popped up, and that's something that's being dealt with. It wasn't swept under the rug. It was actually addressed directly by the head of that department, and I think we should give her kudos for admitting that and working to resolve something that will work for everybody. I have heard about these strange holes on the envelope as though it identifies your party, but I've sometimes seen them, sometimes not, and I haven't changed my party affiliation, so I really don't think it's any way that you're identifying people of a party. That's one of those conspiracy theories that pop up and seem to get spread a lot, but don't really have any real say to it. Anyway, thanks. I think all of you guys do a really good job up here. I don't know if I ever got a chance to say, but I also congratulate Leticia Perez for her re-election this past bus. I would have said it earlier, but I'm still in time. I would have said it earlier, but I just didn't get up and speak for a couple of months. My voice comes in and out these days. Anyway, thank you for all the great work you do on behalf of the residents of Kern County.
Thank you, sir. Morning.
Hello. My name is Marissa Foles. F-O-L-S-E. Can you not hear me?
Not well.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Better.
My name is Marissa Foles. F-O-L-S-E. I actually wanted to introduce myself to Leticia Perez and Chris Pradier because I have applied for some of the boards and commissions in the area, and if you had any questions for me, I'm here, so.
Thank you for your applications, and I'm sure they will.
Can I say something too?
Certainly.
So anybody up here can appoint you to a commission. Now, depending on where you live, you may be limited on some of those because some are required for you to live within them. But the truth is supervisors have openings all the time. And so it's not just Supervisor Parlier and myself, although that's a great place to start. It really extends to the board. There's new commissions and seats that open up all the time. So don't limit yourself to just 2 soups.
What did you apply for?
I applied for Keep Kern Beautiful, LAFCO, which is specific, and the Tehachapi Public Cemeteries District.
Oh.
That one might be specific to Supervisor Parlier.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks for your coming down introduction. Good luck.
Morning.
Good morning. My name is Linda Welch, L-I-N-D-A-W-E-L-C-H. I'm here to address a minor issue I encountered during the last election. Due to concerns about mail theft, I have a P.O. box for all of my important mail, which includes, of course, election materials. However, I often struggle to remember which address to put on the back of the return envelope with my ballot. Initially, I contacted our local election office for clarification, but I wasn't confident in their information, so I then reached out to the state office. And of course, I received a different answer. I emailed the state office explaining the situation to get clarification. They confirmed that the state office answer was correct, and they gave me an explanation, so hopefully I'll remember next time. While this may seem and is a very minor issue, it's just another minor issue on top of a list of minor issues, and some not so minor, which have led to a couple of lawsuits and possibly pending more. It's crucial for all citizens of this county to be aware of the deterioration in the election department. It's their process that's being affected, and they need to become aware of what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Welch.
Good morning, Ricardo Herrera, Herrera. What's unfortunate that I'm here yet again, a week later. 7 days ago, Mr. Couch, you asked the county council and the school's legal services for Greenfield Union School District, just go to the 4th floor and get this settled, get it done. 7 days later, it hasn't been resolved. I don't know what's taking so long. It's a clear, plain, black and white issue. The district's incurring a lot of financial loss due to this issue.
Could I ask you a favor? It is, there's an update on that exact issue, which is item 7. It's when we get done with board member announcements or after public presentations of board member announcements reports, we're going to get an update from our county council on this particular issue.
Okay.
And we would ask that you would speak at that point about that item. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your help. Any other public statements today? See Ms. Espinoza making her way down. Morning.
Good morning again. I just wanted to announce that a special election has been called by the governor for Assembly District 32. The primary for that election will be conducted on Tuesday, February 24th, 2025. We're already in 25. And should a clear winner not be determined, then there will be a general election on April 29th. Candidate filing for this election begins on this Thursday, December 19th, and ends at 5 p.m. on January 2nd. In order to accommodate the county's winter recess and still provide accessibility to potential candidates, we will be providing extended hours until 6 p.m. on Thursday, December 19th, and Monday, December 23rd. We will also be open during winter recess for half days, 8 a.m. to noon on Friday, December 27th, and Monday, December 30th. I don't think anyone needs to be reminded. I feel like if anyone deserves a winter recess this year, it's my staff, and they are committed to this election. This is a blackout period for us, and I've decided to have all staff in, all hands on deck on those half days, again, so that candidates who have questions or may want to come in and file have that opportunity and not just on a limited basis. Thank you.
Could you give me the filing period again for the Assembly District?
December 19th, which is this Thursday, through January 2nd, which is the day after our winter recess.
All right, appreciate your help. Thank you. Thank you to your staff. Maybe they can get some rest after February or April of what year, she probably would ask me. Any other public presentations? Seeing none, we'll go to board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Perez, you had punched in earlier.
I don't know why. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Supervisor Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to say officially congrats to our new supervisor. It's great that District 2 now has a voice, and I was very impressed with the community turnout, the cross-section of leadership. The people that were in attendance is a testament to you, to your smarts, to your experience, to your service, and I look forward to serving with you. So just wanted to say that. And then Chairman, I know you're going to be recognized in January, but this is our last meeting of the year, full substantive meeting without the ceremonial change. So thank you for your patience, your resolve. You're guiding us through 2024. It was not easy, but we did it with your leadership. And I just wanted to say thank you for serving as chair, and we'll talk more in January.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Supervisor Peters?
Thank you, Chairman Couch. I just wanted to say the same as Supervisor Flores. I'm very excited to have Chris on the board and representing District 2. I got another person up here representing East Kern, which is desperately needed. And it's good to have you on the board, and congratulations, and happy to be of any help that I can.
And I'll just ditto that and say welcome. I know you're anxious to get to work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the vote of confidence, and I look forward to working with my colleagues. It's a wonderful board and a wonderful county. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to item 7, which is under the Auditor Controller County Clerk, and it is an update on the Greenfield Union School District election. Ms. Espinoza, are you kicking it off, or is our CAO? How do we start?
Well, this is an item under my department.
Okay.
Good morning, members of the board. The item before you today is an update on the Greenfield Unified School District election. However, I would like to start with another issue that is somewhat related. Since our last board meeting, Supervisor Couch brought to my attention that there was a potential additional error in ballots sent out in the McFarland Unified Board Member Area 2 race. I looked into this and confirmed that 12 voters received this race on their ballot erroneously. However, only 6 voted. While this error is not ideal, the voted ballots did not have an effect on the election results, as the elected candidate won by 231 votes. I know many voters and your board are wondering what happened in both of these races. How could voters receive a ballot containing a race that they were not eligible to vote in? After researching, the culprit in these 2 instances is that the district map in our GIS was correctly updated, but a section of a street was not captured in our election management system in both of these instances. This was a result of human error, and I want to put this in perspective that of the 458,298 voters across Kern County who were sent a ballot for the November 2024 election, 20 received an incorrect ballot, and of the 286,666 voters who cast a ballot, 63 voted their incorrect ballot. The error rate on these are 0.03% and 0.02% respectively. Now, I do not want to minimize the effect this error has had on the school districts, the voters, and most importantly, the candidates. I want to assure the voters of Kern County that the Elections Office is committed to conducting accurate elections and that these errors are being corrected immediately. And we will be conducting a review of all of our districts to ensure all revisions have been made as soon as possible. I believe this is these errors were a result of our, well, it should have been 2020 redistricting that happens every 10 years. As you recall, the census was late due to COVID, and that just kind of pushed everything back a little bit. Before turning it over to County Council for an update on where we are with the Greenfield Unified School District and the possibility of a special election, I want to express my personal commitment, along with the commitment of my staff, to resolve this issue as soon as we receive guidance from the court. Now I will defer to County Council for an update.
All right, thank you. That's good news about McFarland, that it was contained. Thank you.
Good morning again. Just to follow up on Ms. Espinosa's statement, specifically the Greenfield Unified School District, where a number of voters received the incorrect ballot for the trustee zone. My office has met 2 separate times with staff from Schools Legal Services, who's representing the Greenfield Unified School District. We are also working with outside counsel on this, and we have come up with a plan that follows the law. And while I understand the frustration that things can't just happen immediately, there is within the elections code an established process whereby errors like this can be fixed. And it does involve the court, and so in that direction, and I believe last week you heard that schools has filed a writ of mandate in court, and since that first writ, they've filed an amended writ, and we are proceeding with court action, and we'll be asking, we the county won't, we're named as a defendant in the case, but the petitioner, which is the schools, will be asking the court for an order directing that a special election be held because of the error that was made.
That's what the school district is essentially requesting in their filing?
Yes, and they're also here in case you have specific questions to that, but we are working together. We have a plan. It's unfortunate that there's active litigation, but that's how this process gets resolved. And
Okay,
we
and
are
so
moving forward.
For the benefit of the public, then, I think in the conversation last week, there was discussion about how your office would, forgotten the terminology you use, you file it together, a stipulated, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it would be a stipulation that the parties agree to it. We're working toward that. We're not sure that, because the county and the school district technically aren't as much a party as the candidates were. So that's one of the reasons that we are consulting with outside counsel. But the thought is that we will do everything in our capacity to stipulate to an agreement just to get it resolved as quickly as possible.
Is there anything in the law about when something like this occurs, about if it will be just the 2 candidates that were on the ballot previously, or will it be opened up to anyone that wants to run on in that special election if it's called for?
Yeah, I believe, I shouldn't.
You don't want to speculate?
I'm not going to speculate on that one.
You don't know of anything in the law?
I don't know.
Okay. Anything else to add on this? So when do you, is there going to be another filing? Maybe I should ask if schools legal counsel is here. Do they need to amend again? Or have we heard from the court on the amended filing? Where does that stand?
To my knowledge, we have not yet heard back from the court on the first amended.
I'm asking all these questions for our benefit, but for the benefit of the public as well, because this item's on our agenda to give an update so people understand the status, at least as of today. So
I understand, Chairman Couch.
have at it.
To introduce myself again, my name is Abigail Alfont, General Counsel for Greenfield Union School District. Abigail, A-B-I-G-A-L-E, Alfont, A-U, 2 F's as in Frank, A-N-T as in Tom. And just to reiterate some of the items that County Counsel Margot Razan has stated, we have been in active discussions with County Counsel's office. This is a unique and rare, fortunately, situation, and trying to figure out what the best steps and where we need to go next. We do need to make another amended filing with the court. We just had our last meeting with County Counsel's office yesterday afternoon. We will be having another meeting with them sometime later today to determine how best to make that next amended filing. Fortunately, as I said, this is a rare circumstance, so figuring out the parameters of that. The provisions in the elections code, there are 2 different sets of provisions, and trying to figure out how best to make that work, to keep it within the parameters of the district being able to be involved in the action, because the district is the entity that does have the funding to be able to proceed with that, to make sure to preserve the integrity of the electoral process. The candidate does not have the funding to be able to proceed with this. So that's where we're at right now, is needing to have an additional filing to be able to move forward with it while preserving the due process rights of both candidates, and also making sure that there is an elector from the district who is involved in the action. So there's many stages to it, but trying to move forward as expeditiously as possible, because we are in the circumstance where an organizational meeting has to be held, similar to the swearing in a new supervisor this morning. That's what has to happen with the district, is they have to swear in their new trustee within a certain period of time after the election was certified. So trying to do this, trying to get this matter resolved before that organizational meeting does not seem like it's going to be possible. So we're trying to unring a bell. Is going to be.
When is that?
The organizational meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
Oh.
So trying to get, we will not be able to have a hearing before the court by tomorrow. So it's going to be even more complicated, trying to have the court hear it after the trustee has already been seated.
So in a best case scenario, am I hearing you right saying you can't file this, you could, but you're not going to file this writ today? You're going to meet with county counsel tomorrow. You probably won't even file it tomorrow. Maybe after that, the next day or the day after, maybe this week is the
It
best
will be
case.
filed this week for sure, but the issue is being able to have it heard by a judge.
Understood.
And this timing of the year, being able to get before a judge is the real hurdle, because it won't take much time after we've had an additional meeting with county counsel to get the filing made with the court, but being able to actually be heard by a judge is the real hurdle that we have at this moment.
Okay, well, any questions by the board for any parties? Thank you for being here today and the update. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I'm going right there. So is there anyone here that would like to make a any members of the public who would like to make a comment on this particular item? Thank you for waiting for us and hearing that.
Just make one comment. Mr. Couch, last week you asked the council whether other candidates can be involved in this race. At that time, she mentioned that she didn't know. She needed to look at election code. 7 days later, she doesn't have a response to that question. On Thursday, December the 12th, took me 10 minutes. I called California Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber's office, and they gave me a response. And they said that this is a matter to be dealt with at the local level. That is the response that the Secretary of State said. I just wonder why it takes 7 days to can't get a response. It took me 10 minutes to get that response.
To be
dealt at the local matter. They have no jurisdiction over
hang on.
local elections. They only deal with statewide elections.
What I think our county council said was she wasn't aware of anything in the law that said one way or another. So that's not necessarily inconsistent with what you heard. So let me turn to county council and say, do I have that right? What you said just a couple minutes ago.
You are correct in what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it'll be up to the county board of supervisors to determine, for you guys to determine if it's up to your jurisdiction to determine if other candidates will be involved in this race, or they can get in.
Won't be us.
I'm not. I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
I think this is going to be between the attorneys and the judge.
All right.
Which is local. Which is local.
Which is local.
Just not us.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
But I think that's where we're at. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I just don't want you to leave with information or with a perception that you think we're giving you that I don't want to give you. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Herrera, do you know, Chair, how many people ran in that election? Was it just the two, or there was more?
Only two, I believe.
It was two.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems to me that it would be limited to those two who, if there had been five, they should also be able to run again,
Yeah.
even if they got very few votes.
That would be
That's my
logical.
instinct, that it's going to be the two of you, but it's beyond our expertise here.
And I would allude to another thing that was mentioned earlier. Another comment earlier was made that this might have been a bump in the road. So a gentleman made a commentary. It was 5.3% of our election, of the error, the 108 votes. So it was not a bump in the error. It was massive.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I
your
know,
comment.
I was counting ballots just like you, Ms. Perez, too. We were curing ballots, and we
I
came,
know.
yeah.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Any other public comments?
Yes, thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. My name is Mercy Pena, and I'm calling it the winner of the election. I did call the state of California, and I'm sorry, but Mr. Herrera is incorrect. Once the ballots have been certified, the election's over. It's done. It was certified by the elections office, it was certified by you, and it was submitted to the state of California. So we're done. All this talking and delaying, I feel like I still should be, I know I need to be seated tomorrow, because that's what my seating date is. And then all this back and forth just needs to get down to a judge. I'm the winner of the election, and I need to just get seated tomorrow. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Chairman, my name's Jeanette Beeson, and I have been helping with Mercy Pena in this. I have a question in the fact that all of a sudden there will be new costs if this is heard by a judge. Who is representing who? We have two candidates here. So are they going to have to get legal help in this situation? It kind of opens a bucket of worms when you unring a bell. So I have concerns of this for either candidate as far as, do they have to get counsel to be represented equally? She was not in the first meeting. This was discussed with Dr. Herrera. And so I just have these costs that are coming to mind, and people say, well, do you have to get representation? Or is this a bell that's going to be unrung, or is it done? So that is just my question, because the community is interested in knowing what is going to be the final call. How are they going to be informed of this? And these are just questions that they have in this regard, because money for legal counsel, that type of thing has to be done, and we want fair representation for both parties. Thank you for your time.
It was our hope that we would have all of those questions answered and wrapped up today. We don't. The meeting with Dr. Pena that you're talking about, are you just referring to the last Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday?
Yes, the last meeting that you had here as the Board of Supervisors.
To characterize it, it was just a Board of Supervisors meeting where this was discussed. It wasn't actually a meeting with him. it was a meeting just like this a week ago.
Right,
Okay.
so that's why we came to this meeting. We also wanted to know, so there's a plan to be sworn in tomorrow? Is this a done deal for tomorrow? How do people plan ahead for things? Is they're sworn in and then she's not in? This is a lot of confusion in a situation that was a certified election. So just asking these questions because it opens up things as far as council representation for either party in this situation.
So I'll turn to our county council and say, would you like to respond to those statements and those questions? And maybe to summarize what we did last week as well, which might help.
What my office did last week, or
Well, no,
what your board did?
What the board did last week was to refer this to your office, along with a request that, since this was a mistake that was made by the county,
Yep.
not anybody else's mistake, that we would, to the extent possible, minimize, if not eliminate, costs to the district or candidates involved. Now, we may not be able to minimize legal costs, I recognize, but it was other costs that might be associated with this.
Right, so there is a code section, I'm sorry, I'm looking for it, but there, the county will ultimately be paying for the costs of, if there's a special election and for the proceedings, because the county has made the mistake.
But there's no final date on when we will know that information. But the swearing-in will occur tomorrow, is that correct?
That will be
No,
determined by
I
the
mean,
district.
that's not our call. What we're saying is this: there's a post-election remedy,
Okay.
and our legal counsel and schools legal counsel and our elections department are working through that. And that issue will be heard by a judge whenever that judge wants to hear it. It's not up
And
to.
whenever that judge decides, kind of a thing, then she'll be
Yes,
voting.
yes, the decision will come after he hears it,
Okay.
absolutely. So whenever he decides to hear it, and whenever he decides to make a decision, that's when we'll actually know what the path forward is.
Okay, thank you so much for your help
Does
with
that,
this
does that
matter.
even get close to what you were
Well,
asking?
Close but no cigar, whatever. Go next.
Heard that before. Anyone else like to make a comment on this subject, item 7? Any closing comments by staff you need to make?
Chairman Couch, we will continue to work just as diligently as possible. In my experience, courts do hear election matters quickly because there are such tight timelines.
Right.
Again, we, as the parties, schools, legal, and my office have no control over what the court does, and it is kind of a busy time of year in the courts. But again, my experience is that they put this on the expedited track to get it heard just as quickly as possible. And as Ms. Affont said, my office is meeting with them again today, and we're just going through the steps that are outlined within the elections code.
Okay. Ms. Espinoza, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, just one more comment on the timeliness of getting before a judge, and this is really for school council. As I mentioned, we do have the special election, and our time frame for consolidating this election in February, if it's possible, is not that big. And so just to kind of keep.
Do you know even a rough estimate on when that has to be done by?
I'm going to say January 8th, because that's the day that we get our certified list from the Secretary of State, and we will start preparing ballots.
So if the judge heard it and made a decision before that date and gave his decision to us,
So if
or
the
back it up a few days even?
If the decision is to keep it with the two candidates, we already have all of their information. If a judge opens it up to, again, not just the two candidates and basically running an entire election, it won't more than likely be able to be consolidated because there are timeframes that we have to adhere to as far as when candidate filing is so many days before an election. The board would have to potentially not your board, the school board would potentially have to approve a resolution calling for an election. And so there's a lot of little intricacies in the election code, and depending on the office and whether it's local, state. And so as county councils mentioned, I mean, we're reaching out to other counties, we're working very closely together, and then also with the schools to try and get this rectified as soon as possible, really to give the district their entitled board members so that they can conduct business for those residents.
Thank you. So, before we move on, I just want to say, we apologize to the district and to the candidates for this happening. I recognize there's disruption to your doing business and to your, obviously to the candidates who worked hard, I'm sure, on their campaigns, and now you're have a state of flux. So it doesn't do any good, but at least we're here saying we understand what you're going through and we appreciate it. We went without a supervisor for a few months, and it wasn't easy. So we get it, and we apologize for the inconvenience that this is causing. All we had to do here was hear the presentation. We don't need to cast any votes. So I'll close that item, and we'll move on to item 21, which is a proposed urgency ordinance to provide authority for removal of Borel fire debris and hazardous trees from private property. This is under the Public Health Department. Ms. Kerrigan, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Bryn Kerrigan, your Director of Kern County Public Health. I am joined this morning by Brody Saline, Chief Environmental Health Specialist and Designated Department Liaison for Borel Fire Cleanup. The item before your board this morning is an urgency ordinance related to Borel Fire ash, debris, and hazard tree removal. As your board is aware, the Borel fire started on July 24th, 2024, following a vehicle accident on Highway 178 in the Kern River Canyon. The fire burned 59,288 acres and destroyed 223 structures, including 152 single-family residences. The destruction of structures during a fire results in debris that is contaminated with heavy metals, asbestos, and chemicals. The potential for widespread toxic exposures, and threat to the health of the public and environment exists until all of the debris and ash from all structures is fully remediated. The county was successful in securing debris and ash cleanup for residents impacted by the Borel fire through California Office of Emergency Services. This program provides debris, ash, and hazard tree removal to residents at no out-of-pocket cost, with a certification of the soil remaining on the property that it was cleaned to its pre-fire or even improved state and ready for rebuild. As of yesterday, the department has received and approved 138 right of entry permits for participation in this program, and cleanup is currently underway. The department has made numerous attempts to encourage residents to participate in this free program, including issuing a press release and conducting media interviews, creating a dedicated page on our website, posting flyers in common areas within Lake Isabella, including businesses like grocery stores and gas stations, as well as at the Kern River Valley Chamber of Commerce and Lake Isabella Department of Human Services, door-to-door outreach in the affected area. We staffed an information table at the local assistance center. We emailed information to all email addresses on file of residents that were impacted. We've mailed information and the ROE permit application to all addresses on file. We've hosted a community meeting specifically on the cleanup process and the ROE in Lake Isabella on September 19th. This meeting was also recorded and posted on our website for community members that were unable to attend. We staffed an information table at Kern County Fire's community meeting on December 14th. We've posted numerous social media posts, and we've paid for boosting, targeting people in this area. And lastly, we mailed a second notice to all remaining affected residents who have not yet submitted an ROE. The department estimates that there are approximately 60 parcels without a submitted ROE for participation in the state's cleanup program. While participation is voluntary, remediation of the threat to public health and the environment that exists from the Borel fire is not. It is important to note that proper cleanup of a single parcel affected by a wildfire is estimated to cost around $50,000. We continue to encourage impacted residents to complete an ROE and participate in Phase 2 cleanup that is being offered by the state to alleviate the financial constraints associated with proper self-cleanup. It is not too late to complete an ROE and submit it for participation in the program, as the state has agreed to extend the deadline for ROE submission to January 10th. For residents who are still adamant in not participating in the cleanup program being offered, the department has developed a cleanup standard consistent with the standards achieved through participation in the state's program. Should this urgency ordinance that's proposed to your board today be approved, residents who would prefer to clean their own properties themselves may participate in this alternative program, but must meet these standards for consistency and to ensure the public health threat is completely and properly mitigated. The urgency ordinance also provides the authority for the county to remove Borel fire debris and ash from private properties to ensure the health threat that exists from the Borel fire is fully mitigated. The quickly approaching anticipated start of the rainy season offers very little time to mitigate further contamination, and therefore time is of the essence to remove the fire ash and debris from affected properties. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, this concludes my presentation, and we are available for any questions you may have.
Supervisor Peters, would you like to speak before we go to the public?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you, Chairman. First off, I just wanted to say to Director Kerrigan and your staff, thank you for all of your work on this. I know you guys have been bending over backwards to make sure that everything the residents need up there is available and that they're informed and aware of what programs there are, so I appreciate that. And also, thank you for coming down and sharing this information today. I just really want to reiterate to folks up there, I know there's a lot of people that don't want the government getting involved. They don't want anybody coming on their property. Believe me, I understand it. I can appreciate that. But this is something that's going to affect your neighbors. This is something that's going to affect your community, and this has to be cleaned up. Yeah, it's not an option. So again, just to reiterate, there's three options. The state can come in and clean it up. There's still time to get involved in that program. People can clean it up themselves, and that's not a wink and a nod, you can clean it up kind of thing. There are standards that have to be met for that program for you to clean it up yourself. Or ultimately, what this action does is authorizes the county to come in and clean that up, but it's going to be at their cost. And I imagine those costs are going to be fairly significant if they don't take advantage of one of the two options that I've already mentioned. So I just want to really drive that point home, because inevitably I think that there will be a couple individuals that don't end up going that way, and we end up hearing about how much it's cost them to get it cleaned up, and we want people to know that there are other options right now. So just really want to hammer that point home, and thank you again.
Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on this particular item? Seeing none, I'll return to the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That takes us to the end of the morning agenda. I just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
Without objection, we're adjourned. Thanks.